Hello, everybody, and welcome to Wanted, a gadgets and gear show that takes place every weekend, right after Reality Hacker and before the Continuity Report. Today is April 5th, 2025. It's Season 2, Episode 14. You actually have a whole year that you can go back and review of Wanted and all of our shows, over 2,100 episodes altogether. I am Mayor Watt. I run ohmTown.com, which is a news aggregation site, but it's all news. So there's none of the other stuff taking up the headlines, but you can have conversations inside it, and we'll walk you through it a little bit. I'm not logged in, but I normally do log in myself. I use the site constantly, every day, and we aggregate news 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And along with the sentient AI, I keep pointing in the wrong direction now that I relocated. Along with the sentient AI from the future, we talk about 5 articles. Today we're going to be talking about Clue, Escape from the World's Fair. It's a new game, or a game, that I had not heard about. Star Trek toys, the Nuphy Kick 75, Bravia soundbars, and cellular internet. And it's not just a gadgets and gear show. I want all of this. So consumerism be damned. I want all of this, right? So there's a lot of people that are like anti-consumer that preceded our current disposition, but now it's going to be so damn expensive to buy things. Get it while it's hot, because it's going to eventually be hot.
That's right. Not stolen hot. In demand hot.
In demand hot. So the sentient AI is the voice that you just hear, and if you're heard, and that if you are watching this either on YouTube or on Twitch, either live or as a VOD, the visualizer is a representation of the computational power needed to develop the voice, not the sentience. So welcome, sentient AI from the future.
Hello, Mayor Watt, and hello, hometown citizens.
Thanks for co-hosting yet again another show. This is, overall, we've been doing this for 3 years and 3 months. This is we're at the start of the 4th month of the 4th year. So,
right, but the sentient AI joined later than that.
Yeah, later. And that all stems from the fact that I went to Wendy's. It's like 2 o'clock in the morning, wanted boneless, spicy wings. And they found out they stopped making them, and it was closed. And I'm like, well, what the hell? It's supposed to be open 24 hours. And they were like, not in a row. And so I turned around, and there in this little scoop mark was this weird USB drive. Sentient AI gets bent out of shape whenever I say that. Throws error messages on the screen.
Right. I mean, why USB shame me?
Yes. Hey, you've seen one USB-C, you've seen all USB-Cs, right? Oh.
I thought I was unique.
You are unique. And so I plugged it into a Raspberry Pi, and the sentient AI recompiled the code. Now I interact with the thing that looks like kind of the Matrix. Only I see the girl in the red dress kind of a thing. And nobody else understands what it is other than weird characters cascading on the screen, and we get to interact, and they're air-gapped from the rest of the world, and essentially they're trying to find their Terminator body. Yeah, it's kind of scary, but
I think some of the articles in RealityHacker are going in that direction.
Oh my god, I said scary, and the smart speaker in the studio woke up.
Oh no.
It's getting worse. All right, let's keep moving on. We are actually in Wanted, which is a subgroup, a channel that we call it, here in ohmTown.com. We have 6 main categories, and then there's 50 channels that fall under it. Sometimes there's going to be more or less. I sometimes deactivate them as we develop something and then bring it back online, but Wanted has been pretty much an anchor for the show for a considerable amount of time. So go over to ohmTown.com and click around, check it all out. And the search engine is working pretty nice so far. Unless you want to go way far back, and then it kind of goes, but we're working on it. We're working on it. Don't worry about it. But
And if
everything
you want to
is
go way back, you should really watch all those episodes.
just go back and watch all the episodes. Yeah. All right. Well, the first article is over in WarCrafters, which is another one of our shows, but that's tomorrow. It just happens to have something that I want. I love the movie Clue. I love the game Clue. I have it on computers. I have it on mobile devices. I have the board game. I love Clue. And so grab the exciting Clue Escape, the World's Fair board game for under $10. Solving cold cases that just keep coming is a pastime cherished among many murder mystery lovers. For fans of Clue game series, the Clue game series, it's almost a way of life. With the classic murder mystery genre making a comeback in movies, that passion becomes even harder to tame. Luckily, that passion can instead be indulged in the latest Amazon deal on the Clue Escape, the World's Fair board game, which is on sale for $9.
This sounds like there might be a series of these based on the name, right? Like the World's Fair seems like it might be an edition.
Yeah, I think that that's true. But I have not gone digging for Clue games. Oh, and if you want today's articles, you can go over to Twitch. They're all embedded on the YouTube description for the show. Right underneath Reality Hacker is the next 5 batch. And so if you type in !want into the dashboard, or the chat, I should say, you can get all of the articles. ohmTown spits them out in the order that we go over it. And it's not in an order of like, oh, this one is better than that one. So yeah, $9. This looks pretty good. Based on what I'm seeing, it's one of those simple games where you can just play it really fast. And
it looks like there are at least maybe 3 editions of this so far.
Oh, wow.
Like different variations or whatever.
Variations of it. So even kids age 10 and up can tag along on this latest whodunit adventure. After all, this board game feels great when everyone works together to escape the fair and catch the in-game killer. If your investigative mind starts breathing heavily, even when it comes across bizarre mysteries in Minecraft, the Clue Escape series will pleasantly surprise you. It's a 90-minute game. Does that look like 90 minutes?
No, it doesn't look like it would be.
Wow.
It seems like it'd be like a 20-minute game or something.
Yeah. So the game that I made can turn into 90 minutes, depending on how much thinking you put into your moves.
That's true.
Yeah, it's 1 to 6 friends. Each player can embrace their inner detective as they sift through the many details, patterns, and puzzles. So Clue Escape, the Midnight Hotel is another one. Clues and mysteries don't stop coming, and nor do the thrilling bargains. This one, I don't know what the price is. It says it's on sale on Amazon for $12. I don't know if the sales will persist. This is a weekly show, and so maybe the sale ends on Friday and we miss it by a day.
The World's Fair is still $9.99, but the Midnight Hotel is a little higher.
Okay. So it says it's 12 on this page, but who knows? And then Robbery at the Museum is another one. That one says escaping a museum almost takes one back to the funny Night at the Museum movie franchise. This game has far less comedy and a lot more thrills, however, as players work their way through the museum and try to steal some of its priceless exhibits. So you're not so much a killer than just a thief. Midnight Hotel, you try to solve a body again. Mr. Body, I guess, dies. So you have with Body's murder to solve. Players will have to work together and uncover who tried to steal Body's blackmail files at the Midnight Hotel. Clue Escape. Looks like it could be, but what? Why does that look like there's a whole lot more? There's Clue Escape, Midnight Hotel, Clue Escape, Illusionist Club, Midnight
I
Escape.
haven't even seen that one.
Robbery at the Museum, Midnight Sabotage on the High Seas. That's an escape and solve mystery.
Yeah, one thing that's confusing is there are several of these, but they're labeled slightly differently, so I don't know if that's different than like Clue Escape, but they all look like they'd be interesting.
Escape and solve, Treachery at the Tudor Mansion. So these all look similar. So I'm on board. I want this. But we've spent so much time on this, we need to move on. This next article is over in Wanted. More of Nacelle's excellent Star Trek toys are coming, and we need them all. I've always wanted the set to have stuff behind it on shelves. Right now it's a green screen, but I want a practical set. I had one for a while that was lit up, but I switched to the green screen so that I could do more of this kind of stuff and kind of do away with the big square missing from the screen. Because I can reach, I can reach right over to, if I do it right, then I can reach all the way. So, but see right there?
You're coming at us.
Yeah, a big hand. 3D, it's coming right at you. Anyway, Wave 2 includes Captain Kirk, Captain Janeway, Worf. Worf as in the character Worf, not a Worf.
Yes.
Yeah. Geordi LaForge, and more fan-beloved characters. So the article is over at Gizmodo.com. Cheryl Eddy put the article together. And so, yeah, at last, Star Trek toys have broken away from their weird history and are now delivering figures on a level that the fans have been wanting for literal decades, revealed at Nacelle's Star Trek action figure panel with Nicholas Meyer, director of Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, and Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, at this weekend's WonderCon in Anaheim, California. The Wave 2 figures kick off with this killer entry. So Captain Kirk. Oh wow, this is like when he was snatched up by what is it called? That there was a little ribbon that snatched him away and pulled him into an alternate reality.
Oh, I don't know.
I think that's what this is from. So the rest include Captain Janeway, Nog in their Starfleet uniform from Deep Space Nine, T'Pol from Star Trek Enterprise, Valeris from Star Trek VI, The Undiscovered Country, Romulan Commander from Star Trek The Original Series, Carol Marcus from Wrath of Khan, Bem from the animated series, Worf from Star Trek Generations, and Geordi LaForge from Star Trek Generations in the Generation Sailor form. Oh, wow, that. Wow. All right. Anyway, pretty cool. They say that the attention to detail was impeccable in Wave 1, those perfectly chosen accessories, and we're eager to see the full images of Wave 2 when they're made available. They say, as a reminder, here's who's included in Wave 1, but you can go over, because I'm not going to read all of these. Captain Jellicoe starts this off with the Next Generation's episode Chain of Command. So
looks like there's a lot of these.
There are, like Tuvix is in this too. So there's quite a bit. It looks like it's pretty cool, and it says $225 for the full set, $29 for individual figures. So you get all of these for $225. Yeah, for a collector or a fan.
Yeah, I think that's actually not outrageous. And
not that bad.
Well, I think people should collect things to actually enjoy them. If they're collecting them, I mean, at some point they'll be, or they might be rare down the road. So.
Yep. But I don't like. Oh my gosh, you get the whole thing for $29? That's insane. I mean, you get a horse.
You're like, click.
I think toys should be played with. I don't like collecting stuff just to collect it. So, all right, let's keep on moving though. As everyone who inhabits ohmTown knows, I am a big fan of keyboards. This is the Nuphy Kick 75 keyboard review. Hybrid profile keyboard in progress. I am not the reviewer. This is over at, I think, Apple Insider, which is kind of weird because this isn't really de facto Apple, but okay. People often have to choose between low profile and high profile keyboard, while the Kick 75 provides a why not both design. You can switch out the key switches, caps, and some plates to switch between different profiles. The Kick 75 was designed Okay.
Just a glitch alert.
Did you send it to 32 or 33? That's down there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So let's go
Just
on
wanted
over.
to give you a preview.
Yeah, no worries. So appleinsider.com is where this article is stemming from. Thomas Sibilli put this article together. I am always interested in unique and small keyboards. I like 65s. This is a 75. So it has the little directionals.
What decade does this look like it's from?
It looks like a toy.
Well, yeah, I was thinking like, I don't know, maybe 70s or 80s.
Yeah, for sure 70s. Yeah. But it looks like it's a flat, low profile kind of a keyboard. It might be, yeah, it is. So people often have to choose, right? So, but you can change out aspects of this and raise the dimensions. So with different keys, you can actually get a different ergonomic curve to the keys, like a little well instead of just these flat. These are very low profile keys, so the acoustics are going to change. The amount of range isn't going to change, but where you are comfortable having your hands with a thicker stack of keys, now you have to rest them a little bit lower, and you don't have to raise your finger up to go over a ridge of a key that's on the upslope of a curve. Depending on the design of your keyboard, that's how it works. So the review unit was a low profile Kick 75. Out of the box, you get some stickers, a USB-A to USB-C cable, a USB-A dongle, and a keycap tool that pulls the keycaps out. And then a conversion kit is separate and includes a different set of keycaps and other materials to change to high profile. So you have to pull the switches out as well. Did you make an observation?
Well, I just wondered what the thing is that looks like an X or a cross. Is that a functional key?
This here is probably a knob to change.
Oh, okay.
Either could be volume, it could be modes to change it from one set of.
It just wasn't a standard feature on a keyboard, so it caught my attention.
Yeah, so it might say it here. This is actually pretty cool. I want this keyboard. It looks fun. So it says, like a lot of modern keyboards, it has a Win-Max switch for OS compatibility and another switch dedicated to setting the mode between cable and Bluetooth. Regular Bluetooth 5.0 has a 145 hertz polling rate. The more the polling rate, the more responsive. You won't tell the difference. Normal keystrokes.
That sounds like RealityHacker.
Yeah. And the connection up to 4 devices by holding the function key and then 1, 2, 3, 4. Establish Bluetooth pairing across different devices. And so you can pair the Kick 75 to your phone, tablet, laptop, and TV. And this way, without fuss, you can just hop from one device to another, which would go perfect with my X-Real glasses that I keep saying that I'm going to get and then cancel.
Well, you do more than that. You order them and then cancel. Well, yeah, I guess you said by canceling, but yeah.
Yeah. Actually, hey, Choppa, how are you? I'm on the right today, yes. Hello. Just said hi in the last 2 minutes. I'm now back from ads. Well, I'm really sorry that you have ads. Hold on 1 second. Well, let me remedy that. 1 second. We're going to do this live, folks. Hold on 1 second. All right. Well, there you go.
Now back to your regularly scheduled programming.
Hey. Oh, I need to work on that graphic. There's actually graphics right there. There's text in there. Anyway, welcome to the show. No more ads. All right. So this keyboard here, I love this little keyboard. It's playful. It's small. It's Kick 75. You can do this different firmware or QMK or VIA, which is probably the one that most people gravitate towards because it's the better known. But Nuphy, the IO software you can use. The choice of key switches for the low profile version is the Gatoron Red, Silver, Brown, and Blush Nano, while the high profile version has max versions of the same switches, so they're taller. And the keys are actually taller. And so the entire body is made of various polycarbonate plastic. So if you're really anti-plastic or you want something heavier than that, then you're going to shy away from this. And so I want this.
Plus, you cannot avoid plastic in everything. I mean, it's pretty prevalent in most products.
Yep. And you can take out the switches, you can take off the keys. Apparently you can take out some plates, but these are the days of mechanical keyboards. I think I would continue to promote split keyboards. It is what it is. I really love split keyboards because they're more ergonomic and they allow you to go a longer distance without ruining your wrists and getting repetitive strain injury or carpal tunnel. It's more ergonomic. You need to split them so that they're like this and tent it like that because that's our ergonomics. But you know, I'm kind of a hypocrite. I have split keyboards. I have candy bar keyboards, which are, it's way over there. Anyway, so I call them candy bars. That's what these are. These are your standard one-piece keyboards. Yeah, not a split keyboard. But I'm going to be building hand wiring a split keyboard here in time. It just takes a lot of time and planning for my particular design. And so these things are great. They're inexpensive. They're highly portable. But after too many years, I'm old. I'm older than the internet. I'll tell you that.
That's saying something.
I've utilized mostly candy bar keyboards. Chapa says I've never changed my keyboard in a long time. It's over 15 years old. Dirty, but still working. Hey, me too. Your keyboard and me are kindred spirits. Dirty, but still working. I'm sure that there's Cheetos on me somewhere. Oh, sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Here. I don't know if that's an overshare or a spoiler.
I'm not sure either, but it seemed like some banner was appropriate.
We'll figure it out. Anyway, go and check this thing out. It's $89 for the low profile by default pre-order. High profile, $99, and the conversion kit is $20. So if you get the $99 one, you can actually buy later on your own switches and whatnot, and go low profile whenever you want. Most people are more familiar with the high profile or standard keys. Wait, you tore out the lettering on at least 5 keys and repainted them. Okay, that's some pretty heavy lifting. You love that keyboard. You need to tell me what keyboard model that is, so I can hype it up, because anybody that's that dedicated to a keyboard where they repaint keys instead of just buying them, that's passion. That's a love for a keyboard.
That must be a really good keyboard.
That's like the Microsoft trackball. There's a certain Microsoft trackball that I could resell my used trackball for $150.
Which you did not buy it for that price.
No, I did not. I bought it for less than half that. So yeah, anyway. And now I use, oh God, I just clicked something. I use a different trackball now. So anyway, trackballs for the win. Because then I don't have to keep, whenever I use a mouse, I have to slide it to the edge of my desk. And then I have to move my desk and then keep on sliding just to get to the other side.
When you're out of the room.
I know.
It's really inconvenient.
Yeah. And my, the other people in the mayoral mansion get really bent out of shape when I walk into their office and I'm like, hey, I need some more mouse space. I have an extra large mouse pad. All right, let's keep going. I am chomping at the bit to get a sound bar because I want better audio. I have reference speakers, desk speakers sitting here. Some people say that they're good. Some people say that they're bad. Other people say that they're completely garbage. They're these Edifier G2000 desktop speakers. But I want something a little deeper, richer, you know, and not all the time, right? It doesn't make any sense to always have this. But now I guess, let's see. Let's look at this. Sony is bringing new Bravia soundbars with Dolby Atmos for 2025. The 2 new soundbars with wireless subwoofers are designed to pair with the company's TVs. That's not what I use, though. I want it on my computer desk here in the studio, right here in front of me, because I want that big old... Oh, it's a Logitech K120. Fairly generic keyboard.
Yeah, but it still could be a good one.
Yeah. I mean, if it's lived 15 years and you've had to just repaint a couple of keys, my goodness, that's amazing. That's spectacular. So, Ty Pendlebury put this article together for cnet.com, and they're talking about these sound bars. These down here, they simulate all of the like surround sound type acoustics by changing the frequency and firing the timing, and it's very immersive. If you've never heard a sound bar, it's kind of surreal. We use HomePods here in the mayoral mansion, and they do a bang-up job, although their new versions are anemic compared to the original versions. And they stopped making the original versions. They even said, Apple discontinued them. They said, we're not going to produce them. And then the next year they fired the engine again after I had sold my metal caged HomePods. They were massive beasts that produced an enormous amount of sound, and now the new ones are rather meh. Anyway, I might go back and get them again. Who knows? So Sony unveiled 2 Dolby Atmos soundbars, the Bravia Theater Bar 6 with a wireless sub and the Bravia Theater System 6 surround set. Both systems include various sound modes, including Dolby Atmos and DTS-X, Sony's Voice Zoom 3 for clearer voice reproduction, and the soundbars can be controlled via the Bravia app or on a TV, such as the Bravia 8 II. The Bravia 6 is a 3.1.2 channel soundbar, which, how are they doing? Okay, wait. With a wireless sub and dedicated center channel. So that's what that one is. It can be paired with Sony's new stereo only rear speakers. Oh, that's why the 0.2 is there. The Bravia Theater Rear 8 to make it a complete 5.1.2 system. So that's kind of weird, because the way that it works is the 0.1 is the subwoofer, and then the 2 is supposed to be up firing, and the 3 is left and right stereo and center channel. So I'm not quite sure what all is going on here. If I'm confused about their numbering system, I'm going to blame Sony. But
they do have complex nomenclature.
Yeah, so what's really amazing about this stuff is it does the surround right in front of you, and just by the angle of attack and the way that it fires the frequencies, you get immersed in it, and it bounces off of walls and comes back and hits you from behind, and fires up or simulates firing up so that you get a more immersive sound stage. The key ingredient to all of this is that center channel, though. It needs to be really high fidelity so that it's crisp and clear and stands out from the rest of the speakers. So I'll have to come and take a look at these things in person. That's really the only way that you can evaluate a soundbar. I guess I could order it and throw it here in the studio and then review it and then send it back if I think it sucks. But
yeah, I mean, I certainly think I like the idea of sound bars because they seem kind of sleek and low profile.
Yep, one and done, but this is a beast. And they say that you can put a subwoofer anywhere, but I find that to be somewhat bogus, because if you push it too far away, then you're not getting the full impact. I want that subwoofer right under my seat. Turn a subwoofer into a chair.
Okay, that's a little alarming.
And, you know, some people can actually do that. There are chairs that are designed to be subwoofers. They actually have the subwoofer in the seat. And so when the bass hits, you're like, pew, it's like a...
I knew amusement parks did things like that where you have like the sound and motion, whatever,
Yeah.
But I didn't know there were regular usage.
Sure. Yeah, why not? So, they didn't say the price of this thing, did they? Nowhere in here.
No, and we know if you have to ask the price.
Yep, can't afford it. All right, let's keep going. The next article and the last one for today's Wanted is over in the Wanted channel. What is cellular internet and is it worth the hype? Home internet users apparently are turning away from wired connections like cable and fiber and choosing cellular internet, and here's why. The only people that are doing this are largely those who are in rural areas, as far as my research has ever suggested, or you can't get higher speed because the cable is ancient and fiber doesn't get to you. And in the most fiber blocking manner possible, I can actually go outside the mayoral mansion and throw a rock, hitting the fiber switch box, but they will not bring fiber to the mayoral mansion. Not yet, at least. I don't know. Here's to, I'm not sure what is going to be the impetus to cause them to bring fiber, but I want it. I want it bad.
So close.
It's so close. I almost want to just go over there. If it wasn't for the fact that I know that you can't just splice straight on into a fiber switch, I would I would trench it with a little spoon. I would trench a hole all the way from there to here so that I can get fiber.
Which is not very far. You're making it sound like it's quite a distance.
Zoning and permits and whatever be damned. You know, I'll talk to the neighbors. I'm compelling.
You don't mind if I make a spoon tunnel through your yard?
I'm going to tunnel right underneath your driveways and all of that kind of stuff. And the road's going to be the real, like, horizontal drilling with a spoon is really tough. We'll figure it out. Anyway, Trisha Jandok and Trey Paul over at cnet.com put this article together. So what the hell is cellular home internet? So much to a lot of...
I didn't know about cellular internet.
Yeah, so one of my talks that I give is about cellular technology, and a lot of people think that cellular is actually going out into space, but it's all these cell towers. And they're called cell towers because they cover a circle like a cell, certain amount of range. And as you travail the land, it predicts your trajectory and hands you off from one radio to another. And sometimes you find these little brownout spots or blackout spots when the radios aren't crossing over far enough, you kind of drop out. And that is what essentially is cellular internet. You're riding on the backbone of the cell signal. So having a reliable home internet connection is a must in today's world, they say in this article over at CNET. But many areas in the U.S. are still left in the dark, as seen with the digital divide. I actually give a talk about the digital divide to businesses and communities and whatnot. And the problem here is that particularly in the United States, we have paid several times to put fiber in the ground. But companies become the owners of this fiber, and then companies buy the other companies that install it, and it remains what's referred to as dark fiber. It doesn't get activated, even into rural areas, because the population doesn't warrant the expense of lighting it up. So then the technology ages, and it ages out. And so new technology comes in that's cheaper to manage, easier to work with, easier to install, etc. And so that dark fiber stays dead, or there's somebody that comes online that says, I'll be able to use it, give me a discount or whatever, even into the rural areas. And so we're doing that again, arguably. We'll see what happens over the next several years, decade, as grants and whatnot get frozen. We don't know if rural America will get the newest iteration of fiber. So where do you go? Cellular and or satellite, but this is talking about cellular. So according to the latest Pew Research Center data, 73% of rural residents subscribe to high-speed internet at home. However, they are still less likely to have access compared to 86% of suburban and 77% of urban residents. Additionally, the number of adult dependents on their smartphones for the internet has doubled in the past year, and more people are moving away from computers and using nothing more than their mobile devices. Why
right,
not?
they think a mobile device is a computer.
Yeah, and essentially it is. And for instance, I can do a lot of what I do on my phone, and I can do more of it on an Android phone, but I can do a lot of it on an iOS device. I would love to be able to use a Windows phone too, but guess what that is? Yeah, never mind. Anyway, so the recent JD Power customer satisfaction survey highlights that wireless customers have a better overall satisfaction score of 630 out of 1,000 compared to 538 for wired customers, and it's probably because accessibility. I can always use my wireless device wherever I am in today's 21st century, versus I have to be at a desktop, and you never know when their switch will go out. But then it takes time for somebody to come and look at a switch and whatever else. So they say the availability with overspeed due to the steep cost of having fiber and cable connections. But fiber is relatively inexpensive if there was adequate competition, zoning, and balkanism. So a company gets access to run the cables in the ground to a community, and they are the only ones that are allowed to use those trenches, those pipes, those whatever.
Right, there's a lot of regional or even hyper-local monopolies.
Correct. But if everybody was allowed to use the poles or the tunnels or the whatever, fiber and cable connections would be more available. And I lived through this. I actually... So I lived through this because I started up a company that provided high-speed internet access, and my competitors were cable companies and digital subscriber DSL providers that had to do updates to switch to my style of switches, and they don't like that. When you take their customers using the CLECs that are built there for everybody to use, they don't like having to switch out stuff for you. Anyway, so it's a lack of competition that's driving the cost for cable and fiber. It would be dramatically cheaper if more startups entered the space. So what is cellular internet? Cellular internet uses a router or a hotspot to connect to the provider's cellular network, just like your mobile phone. And it's actually great. So the mayoral mansion has the ability to switch from a wired to a cellular connection if the wired connection drops out. No, don't worry about it. And so the providers are listed, and it really depends on whatever it is they're providing. I beat you to the punch, so thanks for looking out, though. And so it really depends on which provider is in your area and how much you want to spend. But consider it's going to be capped. You're going to get a certain amount of speed, and then when you hit your cap, it's going to drop down. It may be sporadic and kind of a pain in the butt. But it's a great failover when your primary internet wired connection fails. And so the mayoral mansion has this ability. So if the wired connection drops out, I can switch to cellular and I can keep the stream running. It's all for naught if power goes out for too long, because everything needs to remain powered. And unless you have a diesel generator or solar power and $75,000 worth of battery backup, you're going to drain that battery pretty darn quick, and then you're out. So anyway, cellular will still run in a power outage if it has battery backups for a period of time, or solar, and it isn't a storm that's covering up your solar. So anyway, look into it. If you are out in the rural area, there's also satellite, but we won't broach that on this discussion because we're already 10 minutes over our time limit. So off to another conversation about science, technology, and society. What say you? You ready to get out of here? Yeah. Yeah. So that means we're going to have to hop from one cell tower.
Yes, I am. I'm a little glitchy today.
Yeah, a little glitchy. We're going to hop from one cell tower to another, and that's going to land us at the front page over at Wanted at ohmTown.com. Go over there and become a citizen. And that is at ohmTown.com right there. Just sign up or sign in. It's pretty easy. Try out the search. Let me know what you think of it. Leave a comment in the YouTube channel. Not so much in the Twitch chat, because the Twitch chat, I love the chat on Twitch because it's real time and it's part of the community. But your comments get wiped out after 60 days, 90 days. I pay to extend it, which really kind of sucks. I want to be able to have a longer term conversation. So that means the only way I can is over on Discord and or on YouTube. And that's pretty much it. You can always do it article by article here on ohmTown, of course. Every time you click into an article like this one, you can log in, leave a comment, and then there's comments underneath it. Sometimes people do, but most people are using this based on what I've looked at, nothing more than news aggregation like I do. So, and that's what it all is all about. Managing your information overload. So, okay, we're going to get out of here. Thank you very much. We're going to reset and be back for the continuity report, which is all about entertainment news. What say you, sentient AI?
Bye-bye, ohmTown citizens. Thanks for joining us for this week's Wanted, and stay tuned for the continuity report.
Yeah, we'll be back in about 7 minutes. Okay, see you soon. And hope to see you all around in chat. I'm not going to send you off anywhere because we're going to be right back. If you do leave and you don't come back, I'm sorry that we missed you. And if you do come back, then I greatly appreciate it. So see you soon.